During the pandemic, the bourgeoisie in government and the pharmaceutical industrial complex and their lackeys in parliament unleashed a brutal attack on the elderly of this country, turning care homes into mass murder sites, denying families the right to access their own family members and murdering them with carefully planned death protocols. They boasted about improving the economy. The Scottish COVID inquiry that awoke me to the scale of what had been done and how our corrupt, prostitute media had sought to mystify, fog and silence what was taking place. The withdrawal of food and liquids plied with midazolam and morphine ventilated to death or slapped a do not resuscitate order on.
Because that's it. I said, just give my mum palliative care medicines. I'm getting used charged with my 35 house to my mum. But we weren't allowed that. We weren't allowed to do anything.
These murders didn't take place in isolation, but in context of a giant population pyramid with an aging population. Rising pension liabilities, economic pressures, and a colossal national debt with a rotten economic mode of production incapable of solving these issues without a mass culling or a mass rearmament for war. A question has to be asked. If the government was so concerned about Granny in 2020, why did they implement death protocols that would kill untold thousands of them in 2020 under the NG 163 document? With the passing of the euthanasia bill, we have gone to protect Granny to murder her because she's a burden. Britain in 2025 shows the decadence and wanton disregard for human life characteristic of a neo-fascist culture. This is unseen, the truth behind the death protocols, where I follow 8 families affected by those death protocols. Empowered from the government top down, doctors and nurses have been allowed to decide who is fit to die. The Scottish COVID inquiry has received little to no media attention, even from so-called alt media. However, here are some testimonies that alerted me to the barbarism taking place inside our country and what eventually led to the creation of this documentary.
The shielding of vulnerable people and the elderly, who are the most affected by this virus, that is in our plan.
I feel my mother was murdered, basically, and I think that's why it's very difficult for me to get over it.
And she wrote morphine and midazolam. It's the first, even asking the question, first time I'd known about the use of midazolam. And that's when I realised I'd actually let it happen on my watch. And I'd gone in to stop it and still never stopped it.
I think the midazolam and morphine was a massive factor because I feel like even with the ventilator.
So do you know if she'd been put on an end-of-life pathway?
Yes, yeah, they put her on it. They said she was 76, she's coming to the end of her life. And my mum was nothing like it. She had nothing wrong with her at all. She was as fit as me, and the only thing she was doing was grieving my dad.
The COVID inquiry has been told that Matt Hancock wanted the ultimate say on who should live and who should die.